Hello there. I wanted to get on here and give you all a little bit of an extended for those that took time to, hop over on the live on Sunday to creating healthy routines. I wanted to follow up with you and give you a little bit more of an extended now that you're making your progress into the close of your first week, headed into that 21 day. And I still want to encourage you to continue taking small steps and taking it one day at a time, especially those of you that are dealing with some depression, you're dealing with anxiety. This process of creating a routine will be more challenging for you. So knowing that, I don't want you to give up. I want you to keep pushing. I want you to make it a point with yourself that when you feel those symptoms of depression coming on, that you're not going to wait until they become so bad it's hard to pull yourself out. The same thing goes with anxiety. You know the symptoms. You know what to expect ahead of time. So when you know that's coming, I want you to use those techniques that you've been taught, and maybe you haven't been taught some techniques of how to pull yourself out of that place before you're too far gone. And if you don't have any techniques, reach out to me. I've got some exercises for you in addition, to those that are dealing with depression, or it might just be seasonal depression as we're heading into the winter months and, we're dealing with less sunshine. We're not able to get outside as much, etc. So there's some of us that are dealing with seasonal depression. There is such a thing if you did not know that. Or you're dealing with some anxiety. There are tools for you. All right. And so sometimes when you're reaching your marker, you're headed down, you might experience triggers that might set you back. All right. So knowing the signs and symptoms is very important. So I wanted to get on here and really stress that point to those of you that might be dealing with depression, be it seasonal or anxiety. All right. So back to the categories. I gave you some colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then black. So I want to expand on those areas really quick and just give you some more tips if some of those colors were the area you chose to work on in the next 21, 66, or 90 days. So I hope in this point you're not being hard on yourself, that you're taking it one step at a time. We talked about red being finances or career or, dealing with money. And so if that was your area, I want you to take a look at your finances, and I want you to, look at what you're spending money on frivolously. Okay. And be more frugal. For instance, a lot of people like Starbucks coffee, and you look at what you spend for one cup of coffee. It might be a tall. Okay. And you might do this maybe 3 times a week. I don't know, maybe 5 times a week if you got it going on like that. That is a possibility. So I want you to look at, adding up what that costs on a weekly basis. If the finances is your area that you're working on. Okay. So looking at that price that you spend, I want you to go through the whole month and look at what you spend on a cup of coffee 3 days a week or 5 days a week and add that up. What are you spending on that one tall, fluffy cup of foo-foo? So is it, I came up with a little song as I was thinking about that, because I know this hits a lot of people. It's like, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you drinking that cup of coffee. So say it's $5.89. That cup of fluffy Frappuccino, $5.89, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, adds up. That's almost $100 if you're doing that 3 days a week, or more if you're doing it 5 days a week. What if you went into Starbucks and you bought a bag of coffee and you had them, they have the beans. What if you had them ground that bag of coffee for you so you can make your own coffee at home? I do know that a bag of coffee is only $14.89. Imagine the money you could save. So for some of you, I think there was one person who won the budgeting kit. I gave you a little setup that lets you look at your expenses, look at your finances, look at what you're spending. And then something like that cup of Starbucks, I want you to put that, what you're spending, and here's a little diagram, a little layout of it. You know, you've got an expenses, you've got your bills, you've got your income, etc. And then down here is the area where you're looking to save. So if you added up all the times you went to Starbucks in a month, what if you could save that money instead? I don't know. Just a quick tip for you. Okay. All right. On to orange. If you're looking at your relationships, they might be professional, they might be personal, they might be a relationship with yourself. So I wanted to stress that point. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, well, guess what? All the other relationships in your life are going to be rocky or unstable. So work on the relationship with yourself. You know, creating plans to, have moments of self-care so that your other relationships will be just as smooth and loving or harmonious. All right. So that work starts inwardly before it can trickle outwardly. All right. So that was the tip I wanted to give you on the relationships orange. And I'm going to send you a sheet, a color-coded sheet where you can kind of jot down like what areas and then focus on one area at a time and see what could happen for you if you work through all of those colors one at a time, 21, 60, 90 days at a time. Okay? So then we've got yellow, which is diet. And I want you to look at everything that you put in your mouth as your diet. Okay? This could be more than just food. You know, it could be alcohol. It could be, cigarettes. It could be, drugs, be it prescription or recreational, and start looking at everything that you put in your mouth as your diet. Okay. And then, I want you to look at eliminating what's not good for you or what you consider to be a bad habit or cutting back. Start with that because elimination is not going to be easy, especially if you've developed an addiction, back to the coffee, an addiction. But we're going to talk about, give you a meditation on breaking addictions later on as we get through a couple more of these sessions. Okay. So 21 days, commit to one area. Maybe it's just, I want to eat more veggies. I want to eat less sugar, but find what speaks to you. Moving right along to exercise. I think I talked about this, find a routine. Maybe it's just twice a week. Right now, you're going to go out and you're going to walk twice a week or 3 times a week. Set small achievable goals. You don't have to do a whole hour. What if it's just 30 minutes? 10 minutes here in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening. That's your 30 minutes. We don't have to make it, over the top. Sometimes when it's overwhelming, you'll procrastinate if it's too much. All right? So small steps, little increments here and there, they add up. 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here. You got your 30 minutes for the day. Break it up. Smaller steps. Okay, cool. Moving on to better sleep. I talked about the 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is actually recommended by sleep experts. Okay? Your body needs to have a moment to reset. That's all of the cells that are required to operate your body. We do the healing of our bodies when we sleep. Okay? Those of you that are dealing with anxiety, you really want to make sure that you're getting the proper amount of sleep because not having enough sleep is one of the triggers of anxiety. So get your sleep. That's important. Maybe you need to go to bed earlier so you can get that 7 to 9 hours and then get up and do a new routine. I don't know. Okay. But it's, again, looking at your life in snapshots about what areas you could swap out with better habits. Okay. All right. And I want you to get in the habit of setting yourself into a routine at nighttime. If you're dealing with, trying to get better sleep, setting yourself up a nightly routine, such as 2 hours before bedtime, no electronics. That blue light that's coming out of that electronical device is suppressing your sleep hormone, melatonin. For those who did not know that, all right? So you want to start priming yourself 2 hours before you need to be in the bed. Shutting the lights down, dimming the lights, maybe taking a nice warm bath, having a nice decaffeinated tea, something warm to drink at night that signals to your brain, hey, this is my shutting down process for me to start to get to bed. And once you start doing that, you find that it's going to be easier and easier to get to sleep if you're struggling with sleeping, okay? So I've got a whole recording on that as well, okay? Moving right along to indigo, which is your home life balance. And what I wrote down here for you moms that are, at home trying to work and do the work life balance, I want you to practice the power of the word no. It's that simple. No means no. You can't do everything. Okay? Delegate some tasks to the children. If there's a husband at home, get him involved so that you can have time to keep things balanced, keep your sanity, because you don't want to be going off on people all the time because you didn't save enough time to get your work done and have time to take care of yourself. So practice the power of the word no, so you can balance things out and have time for not only your work, dealing with the kids, but you have time for yourself. Okay? All right. Violet is your spirituality, getting up every morning to do meditation. We talked about diet, exercise, and sleep. But meditation is actually an enhancement. It's going to enhance your life by keeping you grounded mentally, spiritually, or energetically. So that's something I do every day. I don't leave home without it. I'm a multitasker. I've got about 4 or 5 different jobs. And if I didn't meditate, I wouldn't be able to keep all of that balanced. So that is an enhancement that I encourage you to put into your routine at some point. But work on your one area. Don't go switching up. I just wanted to give you some background information and more on those 8 color codes that I gave you. Back to Black communication. What are your goals with communicating? Maybe it's to be more articulate when you're doing public speaking, be it at churches or, social media. If you're, looking to get into what I'm doing, hey, I do some coaching sessions on that as well. But, pick an area that you're going to work on. Maybe it's, I need to go out and find myself a vocal coach. I need to go research, how to do this effectively. But pick and choose. That's all I had for you today. See me in the Sunday sessions. I'm going to drop this link in there for you all. And I hope that your ending to the week is off to a good start. I wanted to give you a reminder of your claws. Here it is again. Holding up your dominant hand. You can do this anytime you feel like, you're losing your momentum. All right. Dominant hand. I put your name in there. Commit to 21 days and more of, fill in the blank with your goal. I will show up even when I don't feel like it, because the long term is what I'm working towards. And if I fall off, I will get up and move forward. 1, 2, 3, let's go. High five. All right, that was your clause. Checking in with you toward the end of your week. I will check in again with you toward the top half of your second week. Let me know if you have any questions. Namaste.